Bank of Canada rate announcement day, no rate cut today, but also no increase either. This was expected. We're still stuck in this limbo phase where Canada is trying to get a trade deal with the United States. That was supposed to come as of the deadline here, August 1st, which is tomorrow. It's not looking like that's going to be the case. There have been several deals with other nations. We've seen the EU as well as Japan now get trade deals with the United States. Those all had 15% baseline tariffs, which wouldn't be good for Canada if we saw that. Still unsure as to kind of when that is going to get resolved. If it's sooner rather than later, that would be a good thing for the Canadian economy. If it is prolonged, we will see further job loss. And the Bank of Canada today specifically noted, concerns around inflation, but more so concerns around the Canadian economy as a whole and our ability to weather this storm. They did say if inflation does get under control and we see further job loss as well as a prolonged trade war with the United States, that they probably would be forced to cut interest rates, still leaving maybe 1 to 2 interest rate cuts on the table for the remainder of the year. I don't know if we'll see 2. 1 is certainly possible, though. It's really dependent upon what the US Fed does as well, continuing to widen the gap between where we are at on our policy rate and the US Fed is at. Not good necessarily for the Canadian dollar and not good for inflation. So if you have a variable rate mortgage, I would still remain in that mortgage at this point in time. There's nothing indicating that we have rate increases coming at any point in the future. If you are very concerned about what the next 3 to 4 years of the Trump administration is going to look like, some of our clients have opted to lock in those rates. Interest rates today are floating in the 4.14 to 4.5% range, whether you're on a 3-year fixed or a 5-year fixed. The bond market has been very volatile recently. As far as opportunities in the market, as you've probably heard, the housing market is slower in our major markets like BC and Ontario, specifically downtown cores like Vancouver or Toronto specifically. However, when you look at the outskirts, of town and we look at some of the suburbs, there is fantastic buying opportunity. We've seen small dips in terms of price values in some of the single family detached, and there is a good opportunity at this point in time to potentially move up the property ladder. So whether you're moving from, a 2-bedroom condo to a townhome or townhome up into a single family home, great opportunity in this market. Waiting for the bottom is something that is incredibly difficult to do. So if you are curious about that, reach out to us. We can take a look and run the numbers for you, figure out what a pre-approval and what your options may be to move up in this market. That is key moving forward. Secondly, if you are getting your Ownwell VIP mortgage management program email on a monthly basis, please make sure you're checking that out. We would love any feedback that you have for our office on that report. It does highlight your property value. It looks at your interest rate and whether or not there's any opportunity. It looks at the equity that you're building in your home that you could potentially invest into the rental market or your first vacation property if that's something that you could see in the next couple of years. We'd love to run you through that as far as an annual review or planning session just to see what it may look like in the years to come if you are interested. I'm Tyler from Pilot. I hope everybody is doing well and enjoying the summer with their family. I will chat with you soon.